Once upon a time, in a land far away, there lived a wealthy and powerful king. This king had a daughter named Afyang, renowned for her stunning beauty. But with beauty came a pride that was as striking as her appearance. Afyang turned down every suitor who came her way, believing that none of them were worthy of her hand in marriage. "Father," she declared, "I will not marry any man from our kingdom. I deserve a prince from a distant land, one who is handsome and rich, unlike any man I have ever seen." The king, who loved his daughter dearly, was troubled by her arrogance but hoped she would eventually find a suitable husband. However, Afyang's vanity only grew stronger, and she continued to reject all offers, calling the suitors old, ugly, or simply unworthy. One day, news spread through the village like wildfire. A man, more handsome than any who had ever been seen, had arrived at the market. The villagers were abuzz with excitement, and Afyang, curious and eager, rushed to see this mysterious stranger. When Afyang laid eyes on him, her heart skipped a beat. He was indeed the most handsome man she had ever seen. His presence was commanding, his face chiseled and perfect. Without hesitation, Afyang invited him to her palace. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice trembling with excitement. "I am a prince from a far-off land," he replied. "I have traveled many miles to find a bride as beautiful as you." Afyang was enchanted. Ignoring her parents' pleas for caution, she introduced the prince to them. The king and queen were wary, sensing something unusual about the stranger, but Afyang was adamant. She insisted on marrying him, and eventually, her parents relented. 2 days later, the prince expressed his desire to take Afyang to his kingdom. The king and queen, filled with sorrow, tried to dissuade her, but Afyang was resolute. She bid farewell to her parents and set off with the prince on a journey to his homeland. As they traveled, the path grew increasingly strange and eerie. After several days of walking, they crossed into a realm that felt otherworldly. The trees seemed to whisper, and shadows danced in unnatural ways. Afyang, feeling a pang of unease, clutched the prince's arm. Suddenly, the prince stopped. A man approached and demanded his legs. The prince handed them over without hesitation, leaving Afyang stunned. Before she could react, another man demanded his arms, and then another his torso. Piece by piece, the prince was dismantled until all that remained was a skull, floating in the air. Terrified, Afyang screamed, "What is happening? Who are you?" The skull laughed, a hollow, eerie sound that sent chills down Afyang's spine. "I am the prince you married," it said. "I borrowed these body parts from the spirits to appear human and win your hand. Now you see me as I truly am." Afyang's mind raced. She wanted to flee, to run back to her parents, but the skull would not allow it. "You are mine now," it declared, and led her to a dark, foreboding house in the depths of the spirit land. The house was decrepit, inhabited by the skull's mother, an ancient woman who could barely move. Despite her fear, Afyang began to help the old woman, fetching water, cooking, and cleaning. The old woman, touched by Afyang's kindness, grew fond of her and decided to help her escape. "My dear," the old woman whispered one night, "I will send you back to your homeland, but you must promise to obey your parents and never let pride blind you again." Afyang, desperate to return home, agreed without hesitation. The old woman called upon the spirits for help. She summoned a magical spider, who wove Afyang's hair into an intricate pattern, and gifted her with beautiful anklets. With a wave of her hand, the old woman summoned the breeze, which gently lifted Afyang into the air and carried her away from the spirit land. As she soared through the sky, Afyang reflected on her journey, realizing the folly of her pride. When she landed outside her home, her parents rushed out to meet her. They embraced her with tears of joy, having feared they had lost her forever. Afyang, humbled and grateful, recounted her ordeal and vowed to change her ways. The kingdom celebrated her return with feasting and dancing, and Afyang's story spread far and wide. Her tale became a lesson for all who heard it, a reminder of the dangers of pride and the importance of humility. From that day on, Effiong lived a life of kindness and wisdom, earning the love and respect of her people. And so, the story of Effiong the proud princess was told through the ages, teaching generations the true value of humility and the perils of vanity.